Welcome to Pique Your Interest, your go-to podcast for all things mortgage and real estate. Hosted by Tanner Greenwald and Tim Malaskis. We bring you expert insights to help you buy, sell, and invest with confidence. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to Pique Your Interest podcast. I am Tanner Greenwald with First Home Mortgage, and we have a special guest on today. Her name is Mary McClure, and she is a processor here and in our office. And I thought it would be fun to have her come on and answer a couple questions just about processing in the office, what it's like to process, all that good stuff. So thanks for coming on, Mary.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm just going to ask Mary some questions, and we're just going to go from there.
Okay.
All right, Mary. So how did you land in the world of mortgage banking?
I believe by random. Now, this was 20-some years ago in the maybe it was 2000. But just started as a receptionist and worked my way up to processing. And I had started underwriting before the company kind of did a layoff thing. And I decided that I wanted to do something a little different.
So here you are.
I am. After many, many years later.
Yeah. What's one of your superpowers that helps you tackle the trickiest parts of your job here?
I am extremely organized and annoying. If
She's
that makes sense.
Very organized. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't not be organized. Nobody can not be organized in this job just because of all the documentation you get, and you got so many loans going on at one time, and things come at you pretty much. So you have to have some kind of regimen and organization in your daily schedule in order to allow you to not mix things up.
Yeah.
Which does happen, but not often.
What would be like, I don't want to say one of your favorite things that you try to organize. Like, what's one of your practices of organizing that helps you?
Oh my goodness. It was bred into my blood by my mother from birth. She's the biggest organizer. I'll be honest with you, as I get older, I am a Post-it note queen.
Okay.
Post-it notes all over the place.
Yeah, me too, kind of, actually. It's helpful. It is helpful.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, so how has mortgage processing changed/evolved since you first started with us?
With us? Okay. That's different then.
We'll just say
back in the 2000s. It's gotten more difficult just because of the new rules and regulations that government is kind of throwing out to you, or things that happen internally that they want to change so we don't have it happen again. So it's just ever evolving, ever changing. The rules are always here and there and everywhere sometimes, and you just got to keep up with them. So it's just a steady, difficult task at times.
Yeah. Honestly, when I was writing these questions, one of the things that came to mind was for like me, but I know you were here too, was going paperless.
Oh my goodness.
Right? Do you remember that transaction?
Yeah. Yes. And that was a hard one to do. It took me many, many months.
Right.
Slowly but surely. And I know some of the processors in this office still print out things.
Right.
But if you have a lot going on, yes, printing out and looking at things physically is very different than looking at them on the screen. So I still am not 100,000% paperless.
Yeah. I almost feel like it's hard to be paperless in this job.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. But, you just do what you have to do.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so what's the coolest piece of technology or tool you've used that has helped you process your loans here?
Okay, honestly, I hate technology, so it's my enemy. But I would say it's nothing exciting. The only thing I love is that I have like 3 or 4 screens that I can use. So I don't have to look at everything on one screen. It is extremely difficult to look at multiple things on a single screen.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I think all of us here have at least 2 or 3 screens that we use.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Okay, give us one of your favorite borrower stories from a loan that you've helped close.
So there's many stories because people like to tell me their life stories. But the only one that I truly remember, which was a very nice one, was I was refinancing a couple, and they had come in to drop off docs, sign some things, I guess, during the process, and the wife had pulled out a case for her glasses, and it was a Wizard of Oz case. And I loved it, and I mentioned it to her how much I loved it because I grew up watching that movie. and being obsessed with it. And I swear I was the Wicked Witch and had flying monkeys in my life, and probably still do. And I told her, I just mentioned that I loved it so much. So when they came back to finalize things and finish up their closing, she actually brought me my own case, and I still use it with my glasses. I love it so much.
Yeah, I love stories like that. That's so nice.
Yeah.
Okay. If you had to give a TED Talk on mortgage processing, what would be your main piece of advice?
Am I doing it to processors or to
let's just say
clients?
you're teaching processors or somebody's working with you and
take your time and do things one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Don't get overloaded. Like, the minute you see a list come over, you look like you're going, I mean, this is good for borrowers too. You look like you're going to blow, your head's going to blow. But honestly, if you take it one line at a time, it's not as bad as it seems. And some of the things are just nonsense, or they go together with something else. So you just don't see it head on and go crazy.
Yeah, no, I agree. Is there any, I'm going to add in a question. I like to do that.
Okay.
Is there any part of processing that, I don't want to say is your favorite, but you look forward to doing when you're processing a loan?
Closing the loan.
No. Besides closing the loan, Mary.
I don't know. I guess the beginning part, and then you kind of get a feel for the customer and the whole how the whole process is kind of going to go. Because you can kind of get the feel from the first initial emails back and forth or a phone call back and forth. So I guess I like that part better than most.
I feel like, like every loan has a story almost behind it. Because no two borrowers really are the same. So it's almost like you're learning their story. And most people's stories, it's like they come from nothing. I shouldn't say most people. They have worked it really hard in their way up to be able to purchase the house. So when they come to you and they're excited or whatever, I mean, you're literally with them for this part of their story. So I just think that's really cool.
Yeah, and when they come and they have a great attitude and they just do whatever you say pretty much and, are excited about the process itself, then it makes it a lot easier and it makes my job a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, same. And then we have some fun extra questions for Mary here. So Mary, what is the first thing you do to unwind after a long day of processing? You can be honest.
Honestly, I'll watch a little Jersey Shore or Kardashians.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
Anything that makes my life seem a little bit more tame.
Yeah. Sometimes you watch stuff like that and you're like, okay, well,
Lately, I've been I have a season pass to the aquarium, so I go to the aquarium a lot.
Yeah. The Baltimore one?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good aquarium.
I love watching the animals swim around. They just have nothing else to do.
I'd be there with you, don't worry. Okay, if you weren't a mortgage processor, what would be your dream job?
I talk about this all the time. I would have been a marine biologist.
Why?
Because I am obsessed with ocean life. I love all things in the ocean, but I do love some things outside of the ocean. But it was just a lot of science, and it wasn't a good fit for me at the time. And now I don't really enjoy boats, so I don't know if I would do it now.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I wanted to be a photographer and be an oceanographer and go out on the whale watches and all the expeditions and go take photos of all the marine life.
That would be cool.
I still go on whale watches when I go on vacation because I still love the wildlife.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I wanted to do.
Mary will literally send videos around to some of the processors, some of the loan officers of live animals just out in the wild, whether it's under the ocean or like osprey's nest or whatever.
Africa.
So, Africa. That's what Mary loves to watch animals. So that makes sense for
I don't necessarily need to be there with them.
Right.
But I like to watch them because I don't do outside. But I like to watch the animals.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Cool. Well, thanks, Mary, for popping onto the podcast and just letting me interview you for a second.
Anytime.
Yeah, I just feel like some people should know kind of what the processor does or, who you are sometimes. So I appreciate that.
Well, you know where I work, so you can always find me.
Awesome. Well, everybody have a great day.